திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். நம பார்வதி பதயே. ஹர ஹர மகாதேவா.
Prediction. What's going to happen in the future? Say, if my whole thing was to make a prediction, then why would we do all this work? It doesn't matter how bleak the situation looks right now, but don't ever underestimate what is in a human heart, what people really want. Don't underestimate that. In 10 years' time, the whole world may just be changed into a complete different possibility, you know. It is just that people need sufficient poking to get them going. But when they get going, you don't know what they can do. They can do something that's never happened on the planet till now, isn't it? Isn't it so? So, don't try to predict future. See what kind of future do you want to create. Why are we always trying to predict future? I want you to set a goal. Before I die, I want to leave the world at least this much better. Wouldn't that be better? Instead of predicting future, why don't you set a goal for yourself? Before I leave this world, I will make it at least this good. If all of us set a goal like that, definitely there's a wonderful future ahead, isn't it? We are hoping from the stars some guidance will come. Stars are dumb, inanimate rocks. Okay? You are supposed to have brains and intelligence. They don't have all that. They're just far away, but they're just dumb, unintelligent rocks, isn't it so? Yes or no? Just because they are far away, we don't have to attach such importance to them. They are not guiding our lives. Human destiny is in human hands. How we handle it, that's what it will become. If we handle it sensibly, definitely there's a wonderful tomorrow. If we handle it foolishly, definitely there's going to be a terrible tomorrow, isn't it? So don't predict. Predictions means an insult to humanity. All predictions are a terrible insult to humanity, isn't it? Isn't it so? That means there is no value for what a human being is. All this nonsense is happening simply because you have not realized the immensity of being human. How big it is to be a human being, it's not been realized. The very wonderful stories in India you must have heard. In India there are stories like this. If gods have any problems, they get into trouble, they will come down to meet the sages and saints for advice and consultancy. You know that? This is just to tell you, a human being can raise himself to such a stage that even the gods will have to seek advice from him. Just to tell you the immensity of being human, what it means. So, if you realize the immensity of being a human being, then you won't predict, you will create. We just have to create, not predict.
Bhrigu was one of the Saptarishis. He looked into the future and said, this is how human beings will be. Till the end of the world, he predicted. Is he talking about you? No. He is talking about humanity as to how it will evolve, what it will do. And if the many combinations and permutations, if they are this kind, what will come towards them? If they are that kind, what will come towards them? Like this, he wrote a map. I want you to see this as a sketch. Suppose you make a sketch of the movement of the wind. Here low pressure is happening means we know wind is going to go there. High pressure is happening means we know wind is going to go away from that. So he made a map of humanity. Human consciousness, if it's like this, he will move here, he will move into this kind of womb, he will attract these kind of things, this will happen, that will happen, like this elaborately he went into the whole thing. So Bhrigu Samhita this was called, this is a map of human consciousness till the end of this solar system. How human beings will evolve, what types of human beings will come, what are all the things which will factor. How to read this? He trained people. If an elaborate map is made of something, suppose you take have you seen a topographical map? Not the regular map. Have you seen the Geological Survey of India or the United States, they have this thing. Have you seen these maps? It will take a certain amount of training to read the map, it's all written there. Or have you seen the aeronautical maps? They're really complex, okay? If you want to fly from one part of the world to another, there is an aeronautical map. Unless you're well-trained, I've gone through these exams and I've passed the exams, but I don't think I can navigate from here to, let's say, South America successfully, because the planet is round, it's spinning, time zones are changing. All this is factored into the map. Somebody who knows how to read it, in 2 minutes he knows exactly what it is, coordinates, he will write and he knows where to go. Otherwise, if you don't know how to read it, you spend days with it, months with it, you do not know. So when he wrote this elaborate map of human consciousness, he trained people with a certain dimension of intuitiveness to read this, because this was not all logical stuff. So these people maintained this tradition and came, and it doesn't matter how skeptical you are, what you are, they will say things in your face which will make you feel like an idiot, okay? And it's true, unfortunately. You go sit there in front of Nadi Vaidya, first thing he'll shock you with is, as he said, he will tell your mother's name and father's name. You're finished, you're already floored. Because you've gone from somewhere. It doesn't matter. If you are from some other country, he will tell the first letter. He may not know that you're a Susanna or you're a Tanya, he may not know. He will say, your name starts with T. Just like that. Because he's not looking at your background or your future, nothing. He's just reading a map. By reading the map, he's saying, okay, this is the temperature, this is the elevation, this is that. But it's an intuitive map. Unless he's in a certain state, he cannot do that. So always it should happen around the temple. Vaidishwaran temple is made for this purpose, and it generally happens around that. Now for commercial interest, they're moved everywhere. It may not be as effective, but there are some who are bang on. But if you're on the spiritual path, he will refuse to predict your future, if he's a genuine one, always. So if you go and if he tells your future, that means you're still not on. So, is destiny fixed? Destiny is not something that's fixed by somebody, it is your own karma. So your software is in a certain way, so naturally it'll function that way. Suppose you have a certain type of software on your computer, whatever you do, it'll do the same thing, isn't it? But can I smash the computer and stop it? I can. But still if you turn it on, the same hard drive, same thing will come on in a new computer. So if you want, I'll tell you, if I tell you you'll live for 80 and you jump off the mountain today, new computer will buy for you sometime later, but same hardware, same software rather. Same thing will happen, nothing new. So they're looking at that aspect of life and trying to interpret it in physical terms, which is an interpretation, where there could be mistakes, always. That interpretation may not always be right. But the reading, the fundamental reading, what is the altitude, what is this, what is that, is correct. How to interpret it is the expertise of an individual person. Not everybody can interpret the same way. So this whole science developed Bhrigu Samhita, but if you're on the spiritual path, they'll refuse to say because no reading for you. You don't belong in that range.
கருத்தே கருத்திலுறும் நற்கனியே